All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Cryptid Combat. Here we have the anticipated battle between the Dover Demon at 11th seed and the Lizardman at the 6th seed. Now, the Lizardman here, we're currently showing his previous photo that he had submitted, the previous sketch that was from his original report. However, as we saw last time, his recent photos show a different story, a different man. But I gotta say, this
he really kind of he really wanted to emphasize his glow up. I think
for sure.
He's a little bit, from what I can tell. You and I were talking before the match. He's a little bit of a narcissist, from what I can tell. I believe he paid off the 11-year-old boy that first reported him. Talking about, oh, he's, halfway ripped the roof of the car off and all the rest of it. And then we saw the pictures. It kind of looked like they just ran into some bad hail. That's it. No offense to Lizardman.
The pictures that we were looking at were of a different report. However, I don't discount your theory by any means. We can't find any actual pictures or proof that he actually tore up that car. But, yeah, no, most of Lizardman's damage that he's done to cars looks like someone went and kind of just like chiseled the edge of the, or like cut up the edge of car hoods and stuff. So,
yeah,
how much of a punch is he really packing? We're not sure.
Not entirely too sure until we see this glow up picture.
Now here's the bracket. As we saw last time, the Thunderbird destroyed the Drop Bear. Coming next week, the Jersey Devil versus the Chupacabra, and then the Wendigo will face the last wild card, so make sure you don't miss it. But today, we're dealing with first the Dover Demon.
What a little freak.
He is certainly something. Look at that head. What is this thing? It was look, I have a problem with this description. It says this pale humanoid figure. That does not strike me as humanoid whatsoever.
I've seen a lot of people in my time, and none of them have looked like that. None of them.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, I got it. You know what? There's one guy I'm thinking of, but I'm not going to blast him. So this creature was seen twice within a 2-day span. I think it was twice. It was only seen within a 2-day span. I want to point out the last sentence. I mean, it is one whole sentence here, so I'm just going to read it out loud, and you can tell me if something sticks out to you, I should say. It was spotted in 1977. This pale humanoid figure evaded pursuers with inhuman speed and agility, leaving behind fear and confusion, but little physical threat. Now, I have to say, in a combat scenario, that might not be good.
It might not, but we are dealing with Lizard Man, and whether or not his anatomy is based on the former or the latter part of his name, I think will really decide this match. As we all know, humans have 4-chambered hearts. We're really good at running. Any animal that we could not outrun out in the wild, essentially we tamed and became our pets. That's why dogs and cats have become our pets. Just a fun fact. We kind of run down everything. Now, if it is a lizard, we're dealing with a totally different beast. That's a 3-chambered heart. Really not good at filtering out that lactic acid, which, if the Dover Demon plays its cards right, I mean, it's going to be using that speed to its advantage and really trying to put some distance in between him and the Lizardman until he can close that gap when the lactic acid has taken over and almost given the Lizardman a heart attack.
For sure. That was something I was going to point out. Like, I obviously don't have the expertise behind this that you do, but I did know that most reptiles and cold-blooded creatures typically don't have the ability to it's not necessarily a gas tank, but more of their body just can't keep up effort for as extended of a period of time. So
that's why a lot of lizards in captivity are very fat. Just fun fact.
They need to be running, and But I will say, the trade-off, from what I can tell, with species like obviously crocodilians, like you deal with, is that they usually typically make up for that with quite a few other things that can be pretty formidable to go against.
Usually it's everything from claws to teeth with an insanely strong bite force that usually almost has nothing to do with the size of the animal. I mean, talk about monitor lizards. Those things, a lot of them are real tiny, but it is nigh on impossible to get that thing off your hand if it latches on.
Exactly. Think about that proportion when we're talking about something like the Lizardman, which I feel bad right now because we're already talking about the Lizardman. We haven't even finished the Dover Demon. Let's go ahead and look at his strengths and weaknesses. We have a short list
exactly.
today.
Yeah.
He's fast and agile, and he's elusive. Its movement is erratic, and I'm surprised our whoever made this PowerPoint didn't put fear factor again on here because but weaknesses, it's weak. It's extremely weak in direct combat.
My main weakness is weakness as well. I mean, this we kind of got onto the typographers last episode, but I want to harp on the fact a little bit. They didn't even give this guy 3 strengths.
Yes.
They gave him 2. That was it. I mean, I guess they're working with the best they got, but part of me kind of thinks that maybe the league is conspiring against the Dover Demon.
It's possible. Maybe the Dover Demon wants to keep its abilities hush hush. Maybe it has something up its sleeve.
Like laser eyes or something. Those are big old bug eyes. Maybe he's got something working with that.
We're just gonna think it's gonna get throttled, and then it just shoots a mouth beam that incinerates the Lizardman.
Talking Shin Godzilla level of destruction from a 6 foot tall thing.
Freaking out. Oh my gosh! I'm just the Shin Godzilla theme just starts playing. It's like oh man. Hopefully for the Lizardman, that's not the case, but it's not looking great for the Dover Demon. When we get to the Lizardman, it was first reported in the late 1980s. I actually just pulled up the report. I actually did research this time, or at least some research. I had done this research when a while ago. He's one of my favorites. Big fan. Christopher Davis was someone who was working at a McDonald's, and after getting off work, he drove home. On the way there, he got a flat tire, and after changing it, he looks back and sees the Lizardman, as shown in that previous picture. And that apparently the Lizardman ran down, caught up to his car while speeding off. So we're looking at like 78 miles per hour potentially or more. Jumped onto the car and tore it to shreds. He was able to swing it off by swerving it, but it did damage to his car before then. However, one thing I want to point out, it did not have a tail in that picture. I'm talking about Lizardman here has a tail. He's a lot more jacked. We're not sure what he's doing. Our bio also mentions tail, and I'm really starting to wonder if whoever's writing this knows what they're talking about. And
it could be, we did speculate the end of last episode, that he could be on some supplement regime. Let's just say that, some LMGH, Lizardman growth hormone. So this is kind of, you see the glow up.
Yeah. He
had noodle arms. He had noodle legs. The guy was built kind of like a character from SpongeBob.
His head was like more alien humanoid. It's just like...
Grew a snout, grew a tail, became much more proportional, except for the shoulder width. That shoulder width is...
it's insane.
That's something I aspire to.
I feel like what I'm looking at right now looks like if you took one of the 1960s like Godzilla suits and just took the upper body off and replaced it with like a Mike O'Hearn build. It looks like it. I'm not trying to say anything, but it looks like he's wearing a rubber suit. But who knows? It's a pretty blurry photo. Maybe we're just the tail looks real to me. We're gonna move on. He ran down a car. All right, this is a track athlete. All right, thick hide, incredibly hard to hurt. Again, this is hypothetical, I suppose, because I don't think anyone's tried to hurt it. We still have claws in all capitals.
Claws.
It's almost like they reused the last asset and then added some more text. But and then we're capitalizing in the middle of a sentence. This is awful. plus the power and speed to use them. So in this aspect, we have a creature who, and this kind of answers some of our questions. The Dover Demon was thought to have a speed advantage. I think we're seeing now that it does not. However, it has probably a bit more elusive movement. It's a little more slippery. Weaknesses here. You kind of mentioned this. It's going to tire out pretty quickly, probably. It's a fast twitch athlete.
He unfortunately can't even can't even work on his cardio just based on his physiology.
That's like he might have been working. We don't know. He could have maxed out his cardio. That gets him about 2 minutes, maybe. Starts thrashing long enough, and he's just gonna, Dover Demon put some duct tape around his mouth. He's not going to open it. I don't know if he's exactly that level of crocodilian physiology, but you gotta imagine there's some overlap. If he, I don't know entirely about it, but I'd imagine that if he has the bite force of a crocodile, it's probably pretty similar. That it's gonna be pretty easy to keep that mouth closed. So maybe the Dover Demon could use its hands to do something there.
Yeah, I mean, just for comparison's sake, the Nile crocodile, the most dangerous species of crocodilians currently out in the wild, they can produce a bite force of up to about 6,500 pounds per square inch, and that is insanely strong. However, it only requires about 30 pounds of force to keep the mouth closed.
Yep.
That's it.
The question is, does the Dover Demon have 30 pounds of force in him?
we're gonna have to see. We will have to see on the mat.
Yeah. All right. Here's the locations: Dover, Massachusetts, and Skateboard Swamp in Lee County, South Carolina.
South Carolina represent. That's neither one of our hometowns, but
you know that
South Carolina represent.
North Carolina. What is that song called? Yeah, there's a rap song that is called North Carolina. It's not South Carolina. Either way, I'm moving on.
I'm like Ben Shapiro. I don't listen to rap.
Listen, I got reminded of it in a fever dream while making the slide, or watching whoever made the slide. I didn't make it. Who are your bets on? You're back in the win column, 2 for 5. The bet odds are in, a pretty heavy favorite for Lizardman. Are you going with him?
I think this time, I will go safe and go Lizardman. I know it sounds crazy. I'm typically a risk taker, but Lizardman, I've seen his progress kind of, out of the corner of my eye. I haven't been paying too much attention to him. That's why I don't know too much about this athlete. But I've seen his progress. I've seen the amount of gains that he's made. I've seen him working as best as he can. The Dover Demon, on the other hand, the other day he asked me to open up his Soylent for him. So I'm a little concerned about his ability to fight even in his home territory. So we're gonna have to see.
Yeah, that's a I didn't know about that one. I think we're just gonna have to see. Let's get this fight underway. Again, the rules as always. We have 3 rounds. The first round will be in Lizardman's home field. The second will be in Dover Demon's home field, and the last will be in a neutral arena to see who is the best in all arenas. Whoever wins more rounds wins. In the murky swamp, the Lizardman is in his element. With explosive bursts of speed and immense size, he crashes through the reeds and snatches the frail Dover Demon. Sorry, I'm choking up here. I'm kind of in tears. With claws and jaws. What a line there. The demon's agility lets it. Okay, just go ahead.
I have a question. What was claws all caps again?
No. This time this time it's actually kind of well formatted. The demon's agility lets it dart across logs and water for a moment, but it cannot inflict meaningful damage nor survive a grapple. Every single bout ends with the reptilian predator mauling the smaller creature into submission. Alright, I think that's pretty conclusive. Hey,
I think Dover Demon's got it in the second round, alright?
You know what? I just realized the text is saying the opposite. The Lizardman's home field went first. This is now the Dover Demon's home field. Please ignore the text. All right, this is a not an alarming first sentence at all. Even in its eerie wooded home, the Dover Demon's advantage is evasion. Oh, the Dover Demon's advantage is evasion, not offense. It slips through the trees and shadows, avoiding initial charges. But the Lizardman's size, reach, and raw durability render the demon's claws ineffective. Once caught, there is no escape. With no killing tools and no endurance, the slide didn't tell us that the Dover Demon also didn't have a gas tank, so the demon cannot turn any encounter into a victory, no matter the environment. Alright, so if I'm reading this correctly, it's kind of spoiling that right now the Dover Demon has won 0 out of the 200 bouts so far.
This is the cleanest, flawless victory.
Hey, well, maybe in the neutral arena, grassy plains with sparse cover, he'll find a way to get one win. We want 1 out of 300. In open ground, the fight is brutally one-sided. Okay. With no shadows to melt into, the Dover Demon's evasiveness collapses. The lizard man's thick hide shrugs off all attempts at resistance. Okay, so I'm going to pause in the middle of this and say that literally the Dover Demon apparently had a better chance in Lizard Man's home field than this neutral arena. The humanoid reptile storms forward, crushing the frail entity with overpowering strength and natural weapons in every single bout. Look at that. Look at that. That's not
that's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really an accurate, but oh my gosh. Lizard Man, 300 wins out of the 300 bouts. The Dover Demon has won 0 bouts, and this is the most dominant one-sided victory we have seen here so far. And that's saying a lot. We've seen quite a few one-sided mismatches so far.
Now the good thing is that this is actually the outcome I expected. Despite all my bluster, I even put on a separate bet that there was not going to be a single win for Dover Demon. So I will be able to afford to stay in this house for another 2 months.
We need that DraftKings sponsorship.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. You're close to breaking even.
Very close.
So, but yeah, look, Blizzard Man, he any doubts we had were put away pretty quickly. You got to give him props, despite not a high level of competition. You have to wonder what a potential bout between the Fresno Nightcrawler and the Dover Demon could look like.
Yeah, because the Fresno Nightcrawler, he did win a couple of his bouts.
I think occasionally he threw a leg up at the right time when Mothman flew in too fast and it just went through his head or something. He won some of them. I'm not gonna say convincingly, but
yeah. Look, a cheese strategy that wins is still a strategy that wins.
If I read those descriptions right, the Dover Demon, when he was able to catch and ambush the Lizard Man, was able to deal no damage despite having his neck completely at his advantage. I think in one of the bouts, the Lizard Man took a nap, and the Dover Demon had 5 minutes to attack him before he woke up, and he still couldn't do any damage.
We really gave the Lizard Man chloroform in order to try to make this a little bit of a more even match, and it still was completely one-sided. So,
with that being said, the Lizard Man has one of the highest speed stats, one of the highest durability stats, and one of the highest power stats. Is he a dark horse? Is this someone that might have a chance to get the championship here?
This very well could be not only a dark horse, but potentially a heel to Bigfoot.
That's a great matchup. It's something that if you would have told me initially, I would have been like, Bigfoot is just too big for him. I think Lizard Man's closing that gap in raw mass.
And I think this fight, as long as he doesn't let this fight go to his head, he stays in the training camps, stays on his programs, whether that just be what he's eating or potentially some LMGH, don't know. Whatever he's doing, he needs to keep doing it. Do not let this fight go to your head, Mr. Lizard Man. That's all I got to say. Or Mark Zuckerberg, whichever one you want to go with. But aside from that, I don't know if there's anything else you can say about this match. This is like the most cut and dry, no chance of survival.
Exactly. I think The one thing I want to point out, Lizardman will certainly have a hard next match as he'll go right into the Thunderbird. So that could be interesting because we've seen the aerial combat so far has been a great strategy, but what happens when the person you're diving in on has this amount of mass to hold you down?
That amount of mass, that amount of power, and that amount of, I mean, honestly, even his cardio is way better than I even anticipated.
I think one of those bouts went about 3 minutes.
Really cool matchup.
I think that
gracious.
And he was only, he passed out afterwards, but it was well-deserved victory for Lizardman. And I gotta say, for me, so far in the next round, Lizardman versus Thunderbird is my most anticipated matchup. But we still have 2 matches left in this round. Next time, the Jersey Devil, number 7 seed, versus the Chupacabra, number 10 seed. What a blockbuster matchup this is.
I am quite excited for this matchup because I have opinions about both of these guys, and in both cases the opinions are overwhelmingly positive. I mean, you've got the Jersey Devil, who was in one night cited by like 500 people. You've got the Chupacabra, who's gotten some really, really bad press over the past years. But that's really not dampening his spirit, as you can tell. He's still putting on the mask. He's still moving, as you can tell. Still smiling. He's got that faint goat sucker gleam in his eye still. The Jersey Devil, though, man, I don't even know the last time he was even cited. I have not seen him at the training camp, so we're gonna have to see how this match rolls out once we get them in the ring.
I think he's on that John Jones level of training. Show up when he wants to, do a deadlift every once in a while, and do some hard drugs, and then show up for the fight. We'll see how it pays out for him. But one thing I want to mention before we close this show out, the Chupacabra is interesting for me. But one, Jersey Devil, like you said, probably the most cited within a year of any cryptid ever. I think it was over 1,000 sightings within like a year in like 1910 or something like that. It was literally seen by Napoleon's cousin and shot with a cannonball. I don't know if you know that story. That's real. Look that up. The Chupacabra obviously has a big reputation. The thing that bugs me about the Chupacabra is that it has been described like 5 different ways, and they're very juxtaposition. From anywhere from a smaller lizard man-like creature to a dog. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy. We'll see, because I'm sure you know a bit more of the accurate, true interpretation. You're friends with him, but I've not seen what this thing actually looks like. I just know that it kills goats, which could be a good matchup against a goat-headed opponent.
I mean, this guy's working with half a goat, and this guy sucks down full goats.
That's a good way to end it. All right, if you want to see this matchup, come watch it when we upload it next week.
Next time on Cryptid
Combat
Creations.
Combat.
There we go.
All right, that's it. We're gonna end it right there. Oh man, dude, I was so excited because I did the simulation and I was like, this is amazing. We got no, if we're